Today, me and Zach are going to review an actual indie shooter game that doesn't completely suck. So, yeah, buckle in. We're going over Hell Let Loose. Alright, well, Zach, since you're the resident expert on shooters here, why don't you start us off?
Alright, well, Hell Let Loose is a military simulator set in World War II. It is a first-person shooter, but I mention that second because it's not the sort of FPS you would normally think of. It isn't the chaotic hell shooter of a Doom or a Quake, and it certainly isn't the run-and-gun quick-scoping of Call of Duty. Hell Let Loose aims to be much more authentic in how it plays out. Or, as authentic as you can make it being a nerd like me with a controller in your hands. Alright, so that being the overview, what were your first impressions? I know that this isn't your normal game, but like we didn't mention, it is free on PS Plus right now, so I talked you into playing it. What were your first impressions?
Well, my very first impression was that this game was going to be terrible. Like, I downloaded it, I hopped in a game, had no idea what I was doing. I just jumped in, there was no marker, I didn't know what to do, I didn't know where my teammates were. I walked for like 5 minutes, I didn't see nobody, I'm just walking, and I die. And I'm like, whoa, this game's fucking terrible.
I knew you were going to say something along those lines because this is sort of my type of game, and I hopped in and walked for a good 5 minutes before I found anything.
Yeah, but turned it off. I was like, nah, this game's stupid. I didn't play it. And then I played later on, and once I figured out what I was supposed to be doing, I was actually really impressed, which I'm not a shooter person, so yeah, that says a lot for this game.
All right, speaking of what you're supposed to be doing, that can lead us into the actual game modes of the game, and there are only 2 of those. This is set up as like a hardcore, large-scale military assault. It's 50 on 50, and the 2 game modes are offensive and warfare. And essentially they are the same thing, but one is there's always control points on the map, which are usually centered around a town. And on offensive, one team holds the entire map, and then the offending team needs to come in and take point by point and push the other team off of the map. If you can take all the points on offense, you win. If you can keep them from taking all the points before time runs out, the defense wins. The other one, warfare, is pretty much the same thing. It's the same maps, and you have the same control points. However, one team owns half, the other team owns half, and just whoever can hold the most at the end of the game wins, or if one team can take all of them. What makes this game stand out is that it is so big and so strategy-based that really running around and trying to get kills doesn't do anything. It's all about being organized and trying to take or hold points.
I really did like that aspect of it. Kills do not matter in this game. Yeah, you can get kills, and it's a shooter, so yeah, you are supposed to shoot people.
Well, even when you're getting kills, it's half the time I didn't even know.
Because the game don't tell you nothing. There's no indicators. If you shoot, you just got. If you don't see them die, you have no idea. Even when people throw grenades, like every game has that little grenade marker to let you know what way to run, where it's at. No, you just got. If you don't see the grenade, you're probably gonna get blown up.
Yeah, exactly, and that just shows how hardcore this game actually is. But we were talking about how really just running off and getting kills doesn't matter, and how the teamwork is what really matters. So let's talk a little bit about the classes and what classes there are.
So yeah, the classes actually matter. You need one of everyone. Like if you don't have a medic, you're not gonna be able to revive people. If you don't have a somebody to drive the tank and you find a tank, you're not gonna be able to drive it. Or if you don't have the crewman to operate it with someone to drive it. And if you don't have the anti-tank infantryman and you run into a tank, you're gonna die. Like they're just gonna run you over, blow you up. You're not going to be able to shoot it 1,000,000 times with a pistol and hope it blows up like in other shooters.
Yeah, all of the roles matter, and they're fun to play. Like you were saying with the tanks, you also have engineers, so like you can set up traps or barriers or supplies for your team and stuff, but you can't build anything with the engineer without supplies from the supply role. Everything runs in together, and it goes for this team feel. And you really have to be organized to win, and that's how it always goes. The most organized team wins, and that's why it's a military simulator. It's not the person who can pull up their scope and do a 360 the fastest and shoot someone in the head wins. It's, whoever has the best strategy.
Like if you jump into a unit that has no communication or just a crappy officer, or really just no one communicating at all, it kind of ends up being exactly what it be in real life almost. Just a bunch of dudes holding guns.
You're exactly right. The chat system, the way that it's set up, is perfect because you can talk to anyone that's in your squad at any time, no matter how far away they are, but there's also a proximity chat. So it would be like, if you're in real life, whoever's near you can hear you.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how important and effective just the communication is overall. You can play 2 games back to back, and could be 2 completely different experiences. If there is no communication or breakdown at all, it's just not fun because it's not because you're dying. It's because if you're not progressing in any way, or you don't have people setting spawn points, and you've got like every time you die, you're starting at the very back, you're making no progression. But if you get in on a good team, you're making progression, you're getting those spawn points, you got people getting the supply drops. It's just a whole different experience.
Yeah, it really is. It changes the whole feel and playability of the game. But let's move on to how the game looks. I will say that the graphic, I have played this for both PC and for console, and the console graphics are noticeably turned down. I would say it's a little blurry, it's not so sharp, it's not the best looking game in the world, but it runs very, very smoothly, so I assume they did that on purpose just, for performance. So I'm completely okay with that. It's not the best looking shooter, but it is massive. There's 100 players on there at all times, and it runs great, so I have no problem with that. But we have mostly been talking about all of the good stuff, so let's dive in. This is not a perfect game by any means. Let's talk about some stuff we did not like. You want to go first?
The first thing that needs to be addressed is the trolling, or the friendly fire. Yeah, I get it. Friendly fire is definitely a thing in this game. If you shoot the wrong person, they're going to die. Which, I like that part of it. But we had a game, we were playing, this one dude killed me. He's on my team. He killed me like 7 times. He killed you twice. And he never got kicked. I reported or did the kick option like 7 times, or every time he killed me, and he was still in the game. That cannot happen.
Yeah, and that does need to be fixed. There needs to be something better about the ban or the cheat system or whatever you want to call it, because that completely ruins a game when someone just drops in with a machine gun and starts shooting everyone on your team.
That was the only time it happened. There was a couple other friendly fires, but it wasn't a constant thing. It was just an accident, which I'm cool with that. It happens. There are markers over your head, so it's not like a Tarkov where there's no indication at all. There's a blue marker over your head, like, hey, I'm on your team, or a green circle means, hey, I'm in your squad. Don't shoot me. But when someone does it repeatedly, that's definitely an issue. It needs addressed.
Yeah, it does for sure. The next thing that I would say that I don't like is, with the huge maps comes a lot of open area and stuff, and a lot of downtime, and that's by design, but there's a lot of just empty, boring looking fields, and a lot of just walking. You can kill yourself on purpose or redeploy on purpose to get sent closer to the action, but sometimes there's just no avoiding it. There's 100 people on this map that's like 6 miles. It's massive, and sometimes that can take away from some of the fun. I like the realism, but when it takes away from the fun, at the end of the day, I'm still playing a game.
I didn't really think that was a negative. Like as you said, it was by design, so I didn't mind it that much. Is that your only negative?
No, my last one would be the controls. Now, the actual mapping of all the buttons and stuff is really nice. They did a very good job fitting all of because this was originally made for computer, and there's a ton of key bindings. They did a good job of mapping all those keys. However, the actual feel of moving the gun around and stuff like that, it's just not as smooth as, like, let's say a Call of Duty or a Halo. I know those franchises have been around forever, so they've had a chance to perfect that, but it still sucks when I'm trying to aim at something and it doesn't feel like it's me messing up. It just feels like the controls are just sluggish.
I usually tell people that say that, Zach.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Randy.
No, you already know.
We played for like 6 hours and Randy had 2 kills.
I had 8. They were all the same game. My sniper rifle. No one knew where I was.
You hid in that one brick house, and every time someone walked by, you're like, that guy's going to die. I was like, you should tell them there's a whole crew around that corner. You're like, nah, they'll figure it out.
That was so fun. I forgot all about that.
But anyway, I think that pretty much covers everything. So do you want to do your final thoughts and then wrap it up and give me a score?
Final thoughts. If you got a PS5, you should definitely play this game because it is free with PS Plus.
Only for this month, though, and we are in October, and it's almost over.
Don't ever interrupt me again, Zach.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, it's free with your PS5. If you got Xbox or PC, I think it's $39.99. I would say it's worth it. It's not your traditional shooter, but if you're into shooters, you'll definitely enjoy this one. Final score, I'll give it a 7.9.
Okay. You know what? I pretty much completely agree. I did buy this for PC about a year ago. It's been on PC for a while, and I don't regret it. I enjoyed it on PC. I enjoyed it on PlayStation. I was very surprised how well it transferred over. It is very different. This is not the greatest shooter of all time, but it's different. If you like first-person shooters and you're wanting to try something different or something a little bit more team-oriented or a little more hardcore, you should definitely try this. You said 7.9, and that's about exactly right around what I was thinking. Maybe a 7.5, somewhere around there.
Because I'm always right, Zach.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, This has been Amateur Game Review. It has been a while since we made a video, so we apologize for that. But if you like what we're doing here, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit the notification button, hit that bell button to keep up with everything we're doing.
If you hit the notification button, you might get a notification in about another month.
Hopefully that is not true. We have been having quite a bit of technical difficulties. If you haven't noticed, we're still doing audio only, but that should go back to normal with the next video, and we should be pumping out videos every week now like we used to do. I do want to give a quick shout out to one of our friends, Cody, who has been a longtime supporter of the channel and actually recommended that we do this game. So, yep, there's your shout out that I promised you. And yeah, that's it. Be a friend, tell a friend, and hopefully, like we said, we'll get back to normal. And you guys enjoy your day, and we'll see you in the next video.